4 Keys to Eternal Happiness.
Part 12. Escaping Reality.
Hi. Through this lecture, you will learn the secrets to living a happy life for a lifetime. Additionally, you will get fundamental healing of body and mind from depression to adult diseases. I use the computer a bit compulsively.
Hello, I am a high school student. I was banned from using computers when I was young. However, when I entered middle school, my family got busy and I had more time to myself, so I started using the computer secretly. But these days, if there's no one at home, I feel like I have to use the computer. It really gives me a headache. My eyes hurt. I don't want to use the computer, and I just turn it on even when there's nothing to do. I can't do this if there is family at home. This thought is stuck in my head. So, during exam period, I'm going crazy. I know I have to study, but I can't turn off my computer. Why is this happening? I want to fix it.
I guess you're having a hard time. I had a very difficult time as a student. Here's why you keep your computer on at home. It's not because you find a computer is fun. It's because studying isn't fun. Your subconscious is looking for an escape route instead of studying, which you don't want to do, and that escape route is your computer. You are not the only one. Most modern people seek an escape from real-world problems such as interpersonal relationships, school, work, money, etc. Gambling, alcohol, cigarettes, overeating, obsession with people, religion, smartphones, games, etc. The symptoms that appear on the outside are different, but they are all means of escaping reality. If the condition is severe, long-term counseling is necessary, but for now, I will tell you about simple temporary methods that can be used. Study in the reading room or library and just sleep at home. When you go to the reading room, leave your phone at home. Study with a friend you like and encourage and help each other. Delete all games from your computer and only use the computer to study. There are many online lectures. However, these methods are only temporary measures. To solve the problem, you need to know the root cause. Your symptom is obsessive-compulsive disorder, and obsessive-compulsive disorder is one of the symptoms of depression, and depression is a disease of the body. These days, there are many teenagers with depression. There must be some discomfort in some part of your body. Try to recover your health. If your body becomes healthy, depression or obsessive-compulsive disorder will naturally disappear. Schrodinger's cat for escapism.
My friend has been dancing for years. He has not been employed and has only practiced dancing for several years. I have suggested to him several times that he enter a competition, but he refused, saying, "I still need to prepare." His parents are worried. I am curious about his psychological state.
Your friend's psychological state is like Schrodinger's cat, which is used as an example to explain the quantum superposition phenomenon. Before opening the box, a living cat and a dead cat exist simultaneously. When the box is opened, it is fixed in one state. Likewise, before your friend enters the competition, there is a chance of passing or failing. In this state, even if it is only 1%, your friend has a chance. However, once he enters the competition, the results will be revealed, and he will not be able to handle the disappointment of not meeting his expectation. That is why it is better to hold on to a tiny hope rather than accepting reality. Ask your friend to promise you a deadline. Something like, if you don't win a competition in a year, you should quit dancing and get a job like your parents said. It's also a good idea to find a job or part-time job that allows him to make money through dancing. Even if he doesn't make a lot of money, if he can make a living, he can take responsibility for his own life. Escapism behind religion.
My mother is a passionate Christian, but she interferes too much with her family. When something bad happens, she gaslights me by saying, "You have weak faith, so God punished you. You have to listen to me because God loves me more." She also harshly tells people outside of her family, "If you don't go to church, you'll go to hell." Do you think my mother is living a proper religious life?
Unfortunately, many believers use faith as an escape from reality. The reason we came to this earth is to use our bodies to experience the world. The faith that abandons reality is a misunderstanding of the purpose for which God sent us to this earth. God owns the entire universe. Humans have nothing to give to God. Of course, God wants something from humans. It is to be faithful to our current lives and take care of ourselves first, and then help those around us.
There are many people who go to church diligently and practice their religion faithfully. Since faith is a scope of the heart, true faith and fake faith are very similar. How can we distinguish between true faith and fake faith?
There are two ways to distinguish between true faith and fake faith. 1. People who choose religion as a means of escaping from reality ignore their daily lives. Because they rely on religion to escape from their daily lives, their real lives become more ruined. In contrast, people who find joy in religion gain energy and make positive changes in their daily lives. 2. People who choose religion as a means of escaping reality interfere with other people's lives. People who are depressed in life but lack effort do not think that they are wrong. In this state, when they see someone who lives well despite living differently from them, they think this way:
That person lives differently from me, so one of the two is wrong. But I am not wrong, so that person is wrong.
In order to prove to themselves that they are right, they try to change others to be like them. On the other hand, those who find joy in religion do not try to change others. They are happy regardless of how others live. When people around them have hardships, they help them solve the fundamental problem rather than preaching to them. This is true love of God. Why is attainment of nirvana full of contradictions? 1.
Those who have attained enlightenment, Jesus, Buddha, and monk Seoncheol, live their lives for others rather than for themselves. How can I become like them?
If you want to become like those who have attained enlightenment, you must live like as below. In order to attain enlightenment, imitating those who have attained enlightenment is not very helpful. You must live a selfish life that thinks of yourself first. In order to reach true happiness, we must evolve, and to do that, we must do things that can make you happy right now, not in the future.
Why is that? Why are the process and the result of the path to attainment of nirvana so completely different?
The reason is that the purpose of our lives is not enlightenment or attainment of nirvana, but the process. We must understand this. Enlightenment is the last train railroad of our lives that we all will reach. However, it is not the destination. We did not come to this world to attain enlightenment or to study. We did not come into exile because we committed a sin. We came to this earth by erasing our own memories. Enlightenment is to remember our lost memories again. Enlightenment is simply returning to our original state. No one goes on a long journey to return to where they started. Therefore, attainment of nirvana or enlightenment is not the purpose of life.
So, what is the true purpose of life?
The answer to this ultimate and central question is so simple. The true purpose of life: to experience what my heart desires right now. The reason is that the emotions created in my mind are the way my soul communicates to me. When I do something that my soul is happy about, I am filled with positive emotions such as joy, happiness, and delight. On the other hand, when I do something that my soul does not like, I am filled with negative emotions such as sadness, pain, and depression. When I feel happy when I do something, it is my soul telling me,
You are currently fulfilling the purpose of your life.
source from Conversations with God. Why is attainment of nirvana full of contradictions? 2. The so-called attained enlightenment people, such as Jesus, Buddha, and monk Seong Cheol, lived their lives for others rather than for themselves. They even gave their lives for people who had nothing to do with them. This is possible because they identify themselves with all living things in this world. When a predator bites a lizard's tail, the lizard cuts its tail off and runs away. The tail grows back quickly, so the lizard sacrifices its tail to save the rest. Those who are enlightened know that they are part of the whole. That is why they can do it with joy when they sacrifice themselves for others. Those who have attained enlightenment have no greed. Even though all they have is a single room, a set of clothes, and a mat, they are happy as if they have everything in the world. They eat only a little bit of food to sustain their lives. Because they know that this world is their creation and that everyone is connected to them, what others have is the same as what they own. That is why they don't feel pain or aren't sad even if someone takes away their possessions or when they experience the saddest moments. Only eternal happiness and joy last.
How can I enjoy the joy of non-possession like enlightened people?
As I said last time, you have to get what you want. You have to do what you want to do now. In order to let go of greed, you have to first satisfy that greed.
Why is enlightenment so full of contradictions?
The reason is that enlightenment is achieved through evolution. Evolution is like climbing stairs. When climbing stairs, you have to climb one step at a time. You can't skip a few steps. Just as a single-celled organism evolves over hundreds of millions of years into a human being made up of 60 trillion cells, the process of starting out as a gangster-like human being who only cares about himself and abuses his parents and siblings and reaching the state of Jesus or Buddha is enlightenment. The purpose of life is to experience everything. The reason hardships, ordeals, separations, and sorrows come to us is not to grow to a higher level, but because such painful experiences themselves are meaningful experiences. This is the secret of life. Of course, it is true that the more you suffer, the more you mature. However, pain does not come to us because it is necessary. Life is about seeing both fancy tourist attractions like Manhattan and humble villages like Harlem. As you go through the journey of life, you will experience joy, sadness, boredom, and so on. This is the purpose of life, and as you go through these experiences, you will also receive the unintended bonus of evolution. The purpose of life is experience. The most important moment in life is this moment. The most important place in life is right here. The most important person in life is the one next to me right now. So do what makes you happy right now. What makes your soul happy does not guarantee social success. However, over time, your consciousness will evolve more and more, and you will find yourself happier. The secret hidden in I love you.
I was deeply moved after watching the movie I Love You released in 2011. Have you ever thought about this, teacher? Why do we feel happy when we hear the words, I love you? I don't know if I'm asking something so obvious.
Only when you question something that seems so obvious, you can achieve amazing growth. Newton found the phenomenon of apples falling from trees strange. When he asked those around him why, he got this answer.
It's natural for objects to fall from above. Did you eat something wrong?
Newton became an outcast in the neighborhood because he asked the same question to everyone he met. Everyone pointed at him as an idiot, but Newton continued to study why objects fall, and as a result, he achieved the discovering the law of universal gravitation. Everyone who lived before Newton had always experienced universal gravitation, but no one discovered universal gravitation before Newton because it was taken for granted. Let me give you my personal opinion on your question. When we hear the words, I love you, our brain filters it with the following sentence. You are so beautiful and precious. This alone is enough to evoke feelings of happiness. But there is another fundamental reason why you feel good when you hear the words, I love you. This is the real reason. Hearing the words, I love you, indirectly fulfills the true purpose for which we came to this earth. To understand this, we must first understand the purpose for which we came to this earth. We did not come to this earth to study. We did not come here because we committed a crime in the past and were exiled. We did not come here to please the Great One as religious groups claim. Buddhists and Zen groups say that growing and ultimately attaining enlightenment is the purpose of life, but I do not agree with that opinion. Growth is a process that occurs naturally as we live our lives, and the final stage of growth, attaining enlightenment, is returning to our original state. Therefore, growth is not the purpose of life. When you clean every corner of your house, you may find coins or other things that you had lost. However, these things are just bonuses and are not the real purpose of cleaning. If I had to sum the true purpose of life in one sentence, it would be this. Purpose of life: to experience the fact that I am love and a creator. The purpose of life is to prove and experience through actions in the material world that I am a child of God and a representative of God. The claim that the purpose of life is happiness is not wrong, because when I am faithful to the purpose of life, I feel happy, and the greatest happiness comes when I practice love and creation. When we hear the words, I love you, our brains first filter these words as, you are a beautiful and precious being, and secondly filter them as, you are a noble being who practices love and creation. Indirectly, we achieve our goals. That is why we receive the reward of happiness. But hearing the words, I love you repeatedly from another person doesn't mean much. How can I be a representative of God if I have to rely on another being for help when I want something? Because I am a child of God, I can get what I want for myself. When I do that, I can feel true happiness and achieve the true purpose of life. The purpose of life is happiness. And true happiness comes not when we are loved, but when we practice and give love. Advice for a friend facing hardships.
Teacher, something has come up at home, and I don't think I can continue tutorial anymore. Thank you for teaching me all this time.
I've been through a lot of hardships myself. I don't know what your problem is, but here is some advice for you. To overcome hardship. It has nothing to do with how much you suffered. It has to do with how much effort you put in. Think about what is the most important issue right now, and focus on that one thing. You can leave the rest for later. Growth is not about gaining more, but rather about giving up things that are not important. The last thing you should never give up on is your health. If you are healthy, you can do anything. There is a positive side to hardship. You can find who your friends are and who your friends are not. This too shall pass some day. Thank you for attending this lecture. See you in the part 13.